I'm Alan Kenny, Editorial Director with REIT.com, and we're in Washington, D.C. at the Marriott Marquis Hotel for REITWise 2016, NAREIT's Law, Accounting, and Finance Conference. I'm joined by Jim Hanks, partner with Venable. Jim, last year when we spoke, we talked about some of the major governance issues facing REITs. Has anything come up in the past year in that area for you?
First of all, there's been a further development and enhancement of the influence of major institutional shareholders. And so REITs have had to be particularly sensitive to and monitoring their relationships with their major holders. And this is particularly important in the REIT industry because there is a fairly concentrated group of institutional investors in REITs. They know REITs, they know the presence of each other, they know the managements, so they're very sophisticated investors. And REITs are having to keep up with that or keep ahead of it, and they're doing a good job. The proxy advisors have gotten increasingly significant and influential, but also the institutional holders themselves have developed their own proxy voting policies, their own corporate governance guidelines, and so now it's not enough to just be sure that a REIT is following what ISS wants to do, because that may not be enough for a lot of its institutional holders.
And you've seen REITs kind of evolve from the founders to a pioneering group that took them through the modern REIT era, and now we have a new generation that are overseeing all these companies. Have you noticed any trends in how these people approach leadership?
Now we find, particularly among boards of directors, a lot of members of boards of directors who don't have any direct REIT experience, or in many cases any direct real estate experience, but bring other skill sets and talents to the REIT board, and I think that's a very good development and one that investors welcome.
And lastly, what legal or regulatory issues are you watching that could most impact REITs?
Proxy access has become a major issue within the last 2 years, and particularly within the last year, largely spurred by the controller of the city of New York, Scott Stringer. And so a lot of REITs are facing requests from Controller Stringer, as are many operating companies, and so we've been advising a lot of those REITs on whether to adopt proxy access, and if so, in what format, with what types of provisions. And I think that in a fairly short period of time, if not already, people are arriving at the conclusion that there's really no reason not to adopt proxy access. I personally think it is not going to turn out to be widely used, because I think that significant stockholders or activists who want to take a run at control of the board will do so in their own proxy statement, and will not try to launch that contest through management's proxy statement with all the limitations that there are on them if they go that route. I think they'll fight their own campaign.
Jim, thank you so much for your time.
Sure. Good to be with you.
For more information on this and other REIT news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.